Hello everyone, it's Harmattan season in Nigeria. That season where everybody's mouth will just be breaking. Bah, 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 bah. Dry season. Okay, and for those of you who are violinists, you must have noticed that your violin is also enjoying the Harmattan. When you want to practice, this violin that I tuned and put inside the case, what happened?
I never expected it.
It is the dryness. So what actually happens? I'll show you. So this is my violin. It's actually tuned because I know how to keep it tuned. In Harmattan season. It's Harmattan season. You may not see it in my lips, but it's actually Harmattan season. This is December, uh, and my violin is tuned. You can check. Now, what actually happens? The pegs. The pegs are made of wood as well as the violin itself. The major material used to make the violin is wood. Okay, so what happens during the dry season? Okay, I said Harmattan. For those who are not in Nigeria, I don't know if they call it Harmattan in other parts of Africa, but for us here in Nigeria, we refer to the dry season because we have basically two seasons: the dry season and the wet season, or the rainy season and the dry season, right? Rainy season is the wet season, then the dry season is the dry season, and that dry season is characterized by, it's quite windy, it's dry, it's dusty, and it can block your nose, can crack your lips, and then it can sting your violin. When wood gets dry, it shrinks. So one way to save your violin from distuning often is by pushing the pegs in firmly. If that doesn't work, the next thing to do is to introduce some moisture. Increase the humidity, because what happens in the dry season is that the humidity is low. The amount of water vapor in the atmosphere is small, so the materials that already have some water will be releasing that water into the atmosphere, just like the violin. No matter how you season a wood, most times, the seasoning is not 100%, so there's still some little amount of water in it. Okay, so that amount of water will be trying to dissipate into the atmosphere. As it's doing so, the wood becomes a bit smaller. So what do? The first thing to do is to get a humid, we call it humidifier. Some people call it humid worm. Okay, so you get a humid worm. Is like a thin rubber like this. I don't have one. I was showing you. I don't use one. I have another way of keeping the humidity of my violin environment. Okay, so if you get that humid worm, you just soak it in water for about maybe 20 seconds. You soak for up to a minute, no problem. Then you fix it into this hole here, into the hole here. Fix it until it reaches the cap, right? You leave it there. So when you case the violin, you can even keep it there while you practice or while you play. Okay, so when you case the violin, as the water in that humid worm is dissipating, it will keep the violin environment humid. The wood will not lose water, and then it will not distune, because when this wood loses water, it becomes smaller than the hole, and at the slightest reduction in size, the string that was stretched out will pull it and it will loosen. The peg will lose, the string will be loosed. So that's what actually happens to the violin. So I'm going to show you the easiest way. You don't need to spend any money. So far you have a handkerchief. I have a handkerchief here. So far you have a handkerchief. or some people can call it rag. Of course, it has to be a clean rag. Like the one I use for my violin, see, it's still wet. Now, one thing you must understand is that it should not be drippy. That's, you soak it in water and then you allow the water to be dripping, to be dropping water like that. Then you now put it on your violin. I'm not the one that told you to do that one. Okay, so just soak it in water. As soon as you drop it in water, bring it out and squeeze it very well. See, as I'm even squeezing it, you can't see any drop of water coming out because it's not drippy. Okay, so the next thing to do is when you case your violin, all right, the violin is in the case, you strap it, then you can place that damp rag, I think that's the right word to use, in this area where you have your peg, because that's actually where you want it to work so much. Actually, because it is inside the case, it's going to affect every other part of the violin, but this is where we want it to work most. You can put it under best because you are trying to remove the water from your string, okay, so it doesn't cause any tarnish or rust as the case may be. So you can put it under the scroll of the violin, okay. So as it's releasing the water, the pegs and the scroll, every part of it will receive that water and remain in its original size. Okay, so that's just how to go about it. Now I want to also state that you have to practice every day, or even if you don't practice, which I don't advise, even if you don't practice every day, try to change or try to get the handkerchief wet again or damp again, right? Each day, do it every day. The dryness of the season is actually different in different parts of Nigeria and Africa and perhaps the world. I don't know other places. Okay, so check the violin constantly. Check the rack. Once it's almost dry, get it damp again and put it. And you have to do this as often. Sometimes it may even last up to 2 days or more when the violin is cased. But why would you not practice in 2 days? Why wouldn't you practice your violin in 2 days? 2 days, 2 whole days, you won't practice violin. Okay, so that's it. It's as simple as that. Just get the rag damp and place it around the peg area so that it will make the violin to regain or to maintain its size. Okay, so this can actually save a violin. Now some people will ask, what do I do when playing in an orchestra? In an orchestra you don't case your violin each time you go up to play. You sometimes, like in my church or in some places, you place your violin, your instrument on the stage, maybe on a stand or anywhere. You place it on the stage. After playing, you leave the violin there and go to your seats. Then when it's time to play again, you go back there. So what happens? Fine. Whenever you are going, you can have a couple of racks, maybe 2 or more, and then some water to get it down. Whenever you are going to the stage to use the violin, go with a fresh damp rag, okay, or handkerchief to replace the one that is on the stage. So when you finish playing, as you keep your violin out, the best thing to do is to keep it in a lying position so that you can drop the rag on it, damp rag, not wet, not dripping. Take note of that. On it, or best under it. Okay, even if it's hanging in a hanging position like this or wherever, just place the damp rag like this. So whenever you go there, once you want to play, just remove it, keep it somewhere, play. When you're done playing, then you keep it in rest position again, keep that wet damp rag on it, then leave. If you're coming again, come with a fresh damp rag. If you have any question to this, if you have any query, if you have any comments, you can drop it in the comment box and I will check it and I'll reply you. Have a nice day, have a nice season, and enjoy your dry season. Sometimes when there's rain, some people will be like, this rain go away. I want to go to somewhere. The rain is now is dry season. Take care of yourself. See you again some other time. Thank you for watching.